Okay, let's see if we can get her on. Hello? Corbett?
Hi, I can see you just fine.
Oh, good. Hey, thanks again for taking my call. I appreciate it so much.
Sure, no problem. It was great catching up with your mom. She always was one of my favorite teachers.
Yeah, she's great. She could be mean, that's for sure. I know that.
Oh, I know. She's practically a drill sergeant when she was teaching. But I always liked that about her. She was firm, but she made teaching fun as well.
Yeah.
So when did she retire?
About 5 years ago.
Really? I thought she'd always be teaching.
She still subs from time to time, but she's gonna keep on doing it until she can't go no more.
Well, that's good for her.
Yeah. So, did you happen to receive the package that I sent you?
I have. And at your request, I haven't opened it yet.
Good, because this was the first time I ever had to mail anything to Canada.
So do you want me to open it now?
Not yet. There's something that I want to talk to you about first, okay?
Okay.
Now, I understand that this topic I'm going to talk to you about is probably going to be very difficult for you.
Yeah, but it's okay. If you want to talk about the latest Jigsaw attacks, I'm not worried.
Really?
Yeah, I'm far away from that city. And plus, I already know he's dead.
Right. But that's not all that I wanted to talk to you about. You can go ahead and open the package now, okay?
Oh my... how did you...
It turns out a man young didn't take everything from you that night. This was found in the police storage. I figured it deserves to go to a good home. And it belongs with the right person.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But that's not the only thing in the box. Go ahead and keep looking, okay? There's something else in there. I had a feeling he'd be yours.
Mr. Piggy. I thought I lost him. I was so jealous of Dylan's pig that my parents got me one just like his.
Corbett, I need you to tell me everything that you know. I need you to tell me everything that happened to you that night.
I haven't done this in so many years.
I understand this is probably very difficult for you to go through and remember all this pain and trauma you did. But people need to understand the truth. People need to understand your side of the story. And sometimes I'm a firm believer that history needs to be heard from both sides. And I very much want to hear your side of the story. So please, Corbett, help me.
Just give me a minute. I'll call you back.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll be right here waiting for you, okay? I just hope this works. Hi, are you there still, Corbett?
Yeah, sorry. I'm a mess right now. I just needed a moment to get myself together.
No, that's fine. I understand. This is okay. We can still talk like this.
I guess I should start at the beginning. It started when my brother Dylan was killed about 15 years ago. I was at softball practice and I was waiting for my mom to come pick me up, but she never did. My coach got a call saying my brother was hit by a drunk driver. By the time we got to the hospital, he was already gone. My mother, she did everything she could to save him, and the first person I saw was her. She broke down and told me, and we cried for what felt like forever. But my dad took his death the hardest out of all of us. He once told me that he would find a way to kill the driver that hit my brother.
Timothy Young.
Yes.
He was given 6 months in jail. His lawyer got him off based on a technicality, claiming that your father should have been more responsible for watching your brother.
He was a 5-year-old boy who loved to ride his tricycle. The driver still could have seen him coming.
I don't disagree with you in that statement. Your father claimed that the driver was drunk, but when the police tested him, there was a little bit of alcohol in his system, but not over the limit.
Regardless, my brother's gone, and his death changed my father. He started to drink more and more, he would constantly argue with Mom, and the saddest part was that he would just stay in my brother's room for hours and never come out. When a few months went by, my mom suggested that we store or just sell Dylan's belongings. But my dad refused to get rid of any of Dylan's items. Every time I'd go to get a toy from Dylan's room, he would yell at me, wanted me to leave all his things alone, and get out.
Wow.
My mom tried so many times to snap him out of it. But every day that I saw her argue with him, she just got more and more depressed. She completely gave up on helping him, and she wouldn't even speak to him. Or me, for that matter. She would just spend more and more time at the hospital, just bury herself completely in her work.
I had no idea that it had that much of an impact on your household. Your parents shouldn't have treated you that way. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I've accepted the fact that they both handled their grief in their own way. Truth be told, how do you properly handle grief of a lost child?
Right. So, can you please talk about the night you were taken by Amanda Young?
The night before, I had trouble sleeping, and I wanted to sleep with an old toy from my brother's room. I lost my stuffed pig, so I decided to take Dylan's. That morning, my dad woke me up, and he was angry with me for taking Dylan's toy. After that, I went to get ready for school, and the next thing I remember is this giant pig monster comes and grabs me. I don't remember much after that.
You were injected with a powerful sedative, which was a common thing used in Jigsaw abductions. Can you please tell me what happened, or what's the next thing that you remember after you woke up?
I woke up on a bed in the room with hardly any air. The door was locked, and all I had was a bed and blankets. The door was unlocked, and then a bigger person came in. He had my favorite doll.
It was a man in a pig mask, wasn't it?
I realize that now, but he never said a word, just held up my doll like he wanted me to take it, so I took it, and I hid under the covers, hoping that he'd go away. When the door closed, I figured he was gone, and I was alone for what seemed like eternity.
I think I have a good idea on who it was, but please, continue.
The next thing I remember is I heard a voice coming from outside the door. It was a woman's voice. I'm pretty sure now it was Amanda. She seemed pretty scared, almost as scared as I was.
What did she say exactly?
She said, "Remember, don't trust the one who saves you."
I see. And the person who saved you was...
Detective Mark Hoffman. Yes.
So where did he find you at?
I remember being so hot and tired that I fell asleep on the bed. And then the next thing I know, the door opens and Hoffman picks me up and carries me out of the room. He kept telling me everything is going to be okay. And then there were police sirens and cars, and cops everywhere outside. I just wanted to know where my mom and dad were. The last thing Hoffman told me was everything was going to be okay.
I'm just glad that you made it out alive that night, because a lot of people didn't. So, what happened after Hoffman saved you?
The EMTs took me to the ambulance, kept me warm, gave me oxygen, and took me to the hospital. I must have fallen asleep or something, because the next thing I remember is it's the morning and I woke up in a hospital bed. I asked where my mom was since I was in the hospital. I assumed she was still working and that she'd come see me, but she never did.
So who was the one that talked to you about all the events that happened at the Gideon Meat Packing Plant factory that night?
There was one nurse, Debbie was her name, and I knew her because she worked with my mom at the hospital. She stayed with me the entire night, made sure I was okay. The next morning after Debbie brought me breakfast, I was visited by a bald cop, and he asked me everything that happened to me that day. I told him there was a voice telling me, don't trust the one who saves me.
What did he say afterwards?
Nothing. He just went on and said that I don't need to worry anymore because they got Jigsaw. That he won't hurt me or anyone else anymore. But then I heard from the hallway outside Debbie crying. She came into the room and told me that my mom and dad were gone. At first I was confused because the cop had just told me that I don't have anything to worry about. And I looked at Debbie and I said, please, 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 tell me they're not dead. And she looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, I'm sorry.
Your dad was the one who killed Jigsaw, wasn't he?
Yeah, they said he killed Jigsaw. The cop told me that he died a hero. It didn't make any better that by killing Jigsaw, he killed my mom too when her collar exploded.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Please. If I had a nickel for every time I've heard those words. I'm sorry, Jacob. It's just...
I know. It's okay.
Gosh, I haven't had to do this in a while.
So, what happened next? Did anybody come talk to you?
Now that I think about it, there was another woman who was a cop. Her name started with an L. I can't remember. Lisa, Laura...
Lindsay?
Yes, that's the one. She came in to see me, but she was also attacked by Jigsaw herself. She had massive cuts all over her face and it was covered up.
Do you remember everything that you all discussed by chance?
She was the only officer there that wanted to hear my full story, so I told her about everything and she just kept asking me, who was it again that saved you?
Did anything else come up by chance?
Not really. She had to go back into her room to be checked on by the doctors. I stayed the rest of the night with Debbie, who said I could go with her the next day. But when I asked about Lindsay the next morning, she was gone.
She was okay. Lindsay Perez knew something wasn't quite right with Mark Hoffman being a survivor that night of the Jigsaw killings. So she had her superior, Special Agent Harrison, declare her dead in order for her to be protected from future attacks.
Oh, that's good to hear. Maybe I can talk to her again someday?
I'm sorry, but Lindsay Perez was later murdered by Mark Hoffman.
Why? Why didn't anyone listen to me? I told everyone the truth and no one listened.
It's okay, Corbett.
No, it's not okay. She could have been saved. If the police just listened to what I told them, she could be alive. Dozens of people could have been saved, and it's all my fault.
It's not your fault, Corbett. The police should have listened to your statement earlier. They should have believed you.
But I just wish someone, just anyone could have believed me about Hoffman.
I believe you, Corbett. I'm listening to you right now. I just want to give your voice the recognition it needs. You're a survivor. And every survivor needs to have their story told.
I just hope that someone stopped Mark Hoffman from killing more people.
Believe me, you don't have to worry about Mark Hoffman anymore. So what happened to you next? I mean, the last time that we saw each other, I don't know if you remember, you were in my mother's classroom. And the last thing my mom told me about you was you had to move because of the last Jigsaw attacks. Where did you go?
I had no other family. My mom's family lived out of the country and my dad had no living relatives. So, I was placed in a foster home.
Wow, really?
Yep.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. My new family took great care of me. They gave me the opportunity to succeed on my own. I graduated high school early in 2015, and I'm looking to graduate from Toronto soon with a degree in engineering, and I've taken up Muay Thai.
Well, I'll tell you, we make a lot more money than a teacher's salary, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm doing well for myself.
Yeah, see? Your Jigsaw experience made your life turn out better after all the end anyways.
Excuse me?
It's nothing, I'm sorry.
No. What did you mean by that?
Well, it's just that.
You think that my experiences with surviving Jigsaw made me a better person after everything he did to my family?
Well, he did test your parents for a reason.
Test them?
Yeah, test him. I'm just thinking like the way Jigsaw would. I mean, if he sees someone the way they acted that your family was acting, the way they were treating you and everything like that, and the way that you told me, it sounds like they were practically dragging their knuckles on the ground. So, like, can kind of see why Jigsaw would test them. It kind of made sense.
You didn't even know my parents, and you don't even know me, you asshole.
Whoa, asshole? Really? Well, based upon your juvenile records, you weren't acting so much different than the way your parents were. And while we're on the subject, Corbett, let's talk about your juvenile records, shall we? You were in trouble with the law multiple times. I mean, at age 12, you practically beat a girl to death with a softball bat for mocking your family, and let's not forget about the time a year later you broke a boy's jaw with a flashlight. Okay, look. I'm sorry. I went too far, okay? It's just that people get the wrong idea about John Kramer. I mean, all they see is just the blood and torture devices. I mean, I've just been an admirer of his philosophies, you know? For years, I've heard nothing but people saying how he's just a mindless murderer who just kills for pleasure. That's not John Kramer at all. He tested people for a reason, and it's just all rehabilitation. Well, I'm sorry for the loss of your family. I am. I'm sympathetic towards you. You have my condolences. And I'm sorry for snapping at you like that. Okay? It's just that people get the wrong idea about Jigsaw. And I just believe that he wanted to test them and give them a chance to free themselves from all the pain and trauma they'd gone through and test them his way. You can understand, right, Corbett? Corbett? Hello?
Now you listen to me. My parents were not perfect, but they still loved me despite everything they went through. John Kramer had no right to play God with their lives. They didn't deserve to die. And the fact that I'm hearing this from you or anyone from your stupid fanboy website is appalling.
I'm just saying that.
No! Jigsaw was a fucking psychopathic madman that murdered dozens of people. And if you can't see that, then you're just as delusional as he was. I just hope you realize that before it's too late for you. In the meantime, thank you, fuck you, bye.
What the fuck did I do?